I've been thinking a lot about how to explain exactly why this game has been so low-key. Aside from the obvious fact that I have no free time, I feel like I owe more of an explanation. That being said, gather round, grab some popcorn and your dear old granny, sit tight, and I'm gonna tell you how it all started. Back in January, after a long day catching up on Dragon Ball Super, I came across a YouTube video that mentioned a new DBZ Fangame. I gave it a look because I'm always down to see new DBZ content, but something about this one wasn't doing it for me. I was impressed by the terrain and the beautiful scenery, but it was pretty clear that the game wasn't much more than that. Okay, so being the troll that I am, I decided to have a little bit of fun. I posted a comment claiming that I could make a better game in Unity 5 in about a week. Now let me be clear, this comment was meant to be taken lightly. At the time I posted it, I was still doing promo for my game I released on Steam. In addition to that, I was doing work as a freelance artist, so I didn't have time in my schedule to make a whole game in a week. But almost immediately, I got a notification that the developer had responded. Now wait a minute, hold on. It's cool if you want to make fun of Unity 5 because I'm aware of the reputation it has. It's a completely different topic to use the word fail regarding someone like me. After reading that response, I felt more inspired than I had in a long time. Now that was exactly what I needed to spark that motivation I've been missing. And you know what? From that point on, I took that motivation to heart. I began work on the project on the 21st of January. The idea was to recreate the famous battle on Namek between Goku and Frieza. Being that it was one of my favorite moments, I truly wanted to get the models right. Searching through realistic concept art was fun, but it didn't seem right trying to take an animated character and make it overly human. Instead, I ended up making sort of a hybrid between animated and realistic features, but knowing I couldn't really afford to wait, I just had to start on Frieza that same night. Making Frieza was probably one of my weakest points. I wanted to do right by his original design, however, I still wanted to do a little bit of experimentation. My goal was to make him look more terrifying and alien-like. The combination of being up so late and trying to quickly get characters ready resulted in a poorly done model, and I'll be honest, I'm not proud of the original Frieza, but it was decent at that point in time. After the rig was complete, I took a nap for a few hours before finally getting back to work. I spent most of the day animating both characters so that I could have a better idea of how fighting would work. Finally, I was okay with what I had done, and I kid you not, I passed out on my bed. Three days in, I finally took both models into Unity. I was a little uneasy at this point because the pressure of pitting Unity 5 against Unreal Engine 4, that truly bothered me. My ability as a game developer never felt off, but I already knew how Unity 5 was looked down on. Even though I was coding up a proper combat system, the idea of somebody dismissing my game based on the engine I used kept coming to me. After laying down for a while, I came to the realization that, regardless of the tool, great developers always make great games. That idea alone allowed me to move past my thoughts and keep moving. I should also mention that I chose to animate only 5 special attacks per character. I spent a while watching the actual Goku vs Frieza battle so I could pick out the attacks that were actually used during that fight. The next day, I started to focus on environment design and style. Thinking back on my childhood, I immediately knew what I wanted to do. BT3 was such a good game in terms of combat and stages, I was inspired to make gameplay resemble that as much as I could. And look, I already know the UI isn't that appealing. Y'all gotta understand, I only had a week to put all of this together. Hopefully nobody expected me to make the most amazing video game of all time. I'm just letting you guys know what I had to work with. By the end of the day, I had taken a look at the environments that I made and I realized, they weren't all that great, and I don't see them doing so well with the game. So instead of actually using those, I scrapped them and decided I would start over on a later day. Day 5. I spent the whole day creating the asset for the Kamehameha beam. And you know what? I'm not even joking. I literally used that whole day making this beam and playtesting. I don't even know why I spent so much time on it, because in the end it wasn't some type of incredible masterpiece. Luckily, I figured out a way to make it reusable for Frieza's full power beam. Other than that, I pretty much wasted a whole day. That's my bad, I know. I played myself. The next day, I decided to go hunting for audio clips. I was all over the place just looking for DBZ clips with no music in the background. After finding audio to match, I started redesigning the stage for Namek. Since the models I made earlier in the week were pretty embarrassing, making a new one seemed to be the best idea for me. Looking back on it now, I wish I hadn't used normal maps to show off the sculpting I did. It's always better to use actual geometry instead of fake lighting when it comes to platforms that'll eventually be scaled at a large number. Finally, the last day of the challenge. Around this time, the game was starting to cool down. I had accepted that I wouldn't be able to make a fully playable demo for download, but was that even the main goal here? All I had to do was make a game that was better, right? And despite the initial passion for the game, I just started to feel like there wasn't anywhere else to go. As a result of that, I slowly drifted away from the project. The YouTube videos were posted, I had a bit of fun showing off, but that's where the fun ended. At least I felt that way back then. So what exactly is happening with the game now? Honestly, there's good and bad news. The bad news is that the game that you guys have been seeing so far, it has to come to an end. I can admit the combat can be clunky, the models are subpar, and it just doesn't feel like DBZ. Also, come on, can we take a minute to look at this model? Like, what even, I just don't, how could I take such a thick, juicy character like Frieza and turn him into... Hello darkness, my old friend. But here's the good news. I know how much you guys really wanted a Superfly fan game, so I'm gonna come through. The new version of the game is currently being remade, and I have a few features I'm looking to show off. This is all gonna come at a later time though. I'm gonna be doing development logs every now and then, and with that, I'll show off what the game is becoming. That way, you can actually watch development take place in real time. If you made it this far in the video, be sure to tap that like button 1,000,000 times. Also, turn on notifications after subscribing so you can stay up to date on upcoming videos. That being said, I'll see you in the next one.